Welcome back to my channel, Licensed Immigration. Today I will be talking about the Form I-751, Petition to Remove Conditions on Residence Part 1. Before starting, I'm going to answer the question that some of my subscribers had asked, and maybe you as well have. What is the purpose of I-751? Petition to Remove Conditions on Residence. This petition is used by conditional residents who obtain status through marriage to request that U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services remove the condition on her or on his residence. Who may file Form I-751? If you were granted conditional residence status through marriage to a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident, use Form I-751. Petition to remove conditions on residence to file for the removal of those conditions. If you have dependent children who acquire conditional residence status on the same day as you or within 90 days thereafter, then include the names and alien registration numbers, A/numbers, or as we call it, alien numbers, of these children in the Part 5 of the form. I-751 in order to request that conditions on their status be removed as well. If you had dependent children who did not acquire conditional residence status on the same day as you or within 90 days thereafter, or if the conditional resident parent is deceased, then those dependent children must each file Form I-751 separately to have the conditions on their status removed. Parent is deceased, then those dependent children must each file Form I-751 separately to have the conditions on their status removed. If you are still married, then file Form I-751 jointly with your spouse through whom you obtain conditional status. However, you may file Form I-751 without your spouse if, number 1, you enter the marriage in good faith, but your spouse died. 2, if you enter in the marriage in good faith, but the marriage was later terminated due to the divorce or annulment. 3, you enter the marriage in good faith, but you have battered or subject to extreme cruelty by your petitioner spouse. Let's say domestic violence. Your conditional resident parent entered the marriage in good faith, but you have battered or subject extreme cruelty by your parent. Also apply for parent, U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse, or by conditional resident parent. The termination of your status and removal from the United States will result in extreme hardship. When should you file for I-751? Filing jointly. If you file this petition jointly with your spouse, you must file it during the 90-day period immediately before the conditional residence expires. Filing with a request that joint filing requirement be waived or individual filed. You may file the Form I-751 without your spouse if they are deceased, or you are divorced, or your conditional residence child were battered or subjected to extreme cruelty. You may file this petition at any time if you are granted conditional residence status and before you are removed from the United States. Effect or not filing. If this petition is not filed, you will be automatically lose your permanent residence status 2 years from the date on which you were granted conditional status. You will then become removable from the United States. Or like we say, deported. Something really important that I would like you guys to know is if you that you file this form was truly it's not your fault that you didn't file on time, you may file the petition late with a written explanation and request that USCIS excuse the late filing Failure to file before the expiration date may be excused if you demonstrate when you file a petition that it was delayed due to extraordinary circumstances beyond control and the length of the delay was reasonable. Sorry for the mistake. So let's say for now the COVID-19 is a really circumstance that you filed 90 days, but due to all some UCIS offices are closed now. Some of them are open, but mostly are closed. So this is one of the reasons that is a circumstance that is real, that it can be used. The filing fee is $595. All Form I-751 petition also require an $85 biometric service fee. So it will be $595 plus $85. You could do it in one money order or check, or you could do it separately, but it's better off doing it together. And you may pay this fee with money order, like I said before, a personal check or a cashier check. When you file a UCIS lockbox facility, you may also pay by credit card using Form G1450, authorization for credit card transactions. If you pay by check, you must make it payable to U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Please know that service centers are not able to process credit card payments. And when you send a payment, you agree to pay for a government service fee and a service. Filing and biometric service fee are final and non-refundable, so they will not refund your money back, even if the case is denied. And let's say they did not receive the form, they will still not refund your money. It could be that it haven't been accepted or you have missing evidence. They're still not going to refund your fee. So guys, remember to subscribe, turn on notification bell, like, comment below, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for the support and have a blessed day. Please stay safe.